YouTube, what's going on? Oh, did I just pick my nose? I'm sorry. Anyway, what's going on YouTube? This your dude, Intergalactic Brew. One more again. Here to do my video for UFC 137. Now, originally, I was not going to do a video for this pay-per-view simply because when the GSP Carlos Condit main event got canceled, I wasn't really interested in this card anymore, to tell you the truth. I mean, sure, the Nick Diaz BJ Penn fight is a very interesting fight. It's one fight to look forward to. The other fights, like the Congo Mitrione fight and the Crow Cop Roy Nelson fight, I really don't know about those, but I mean, it is what it is, I mean, we can't help, what goes on behind the scenes of the UFC. So we'll basically just have to live with, the results of what we have. Okay, so here we go. The first fight I want to talk about, just get it out the way, Hatsu Hayoki versus George Roop. I've heard a lot about the Hayoki guy. I really haven't seen too much of his fights. I believe he's a grappler or has a grappling background. I heard he's really good at it. No. Yes, he is a grappler. Okay, right. I was right. Yes, he is a grappler. I heard he's been highly touted, so to speak, by the UFC. He was a big signee, if you want to call it that, recently. And a lot of people are saying he could be the next UFC featherweight champion. So I guess, just from, hearing about him, he's obviously got to be good. I mean, this is the best of the best, the UFC. So, it doesn't get any better than this. Looking at his record, he has 4 knockouts and 12 submissions. Very interesting. And let's see, his last 4 fights, 2 have been by submission and 2 have been by decision. It's a very interesting fight. He's going to be taking on George Roop, a guy who's looked fairly well ever since he dropped down to featherweight. He was one of the first to knock out Chen Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie. So that's a huge feather in his cap. He's improved. He really has improved since his time on The Ultimate Fighter. He went to the WEC shortly after, got some really nice wins there, and he's looking to rebound from his knockout loss against Mark Hominick this past year, as you all know. So, yeah. It should be an interesting fight. The Hayoki guy, being that he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, I'm guessing he will want to get this fight to the ground. George Roop does have good striking, solid striking, dare say. Like I said, he did knock out the Korean Zombie, which is a tough task for any opponent on any night. So So yeah, Hayoki's best chance is to get this fight to the ground. I'm sure Roop will be looking to use that size and the length, and he'll want to use the jab. You know, mix it up a lot with the kicks, and just try to catch Hayoki with a right hand or even a high kick. You know, he has a very good head kick, does Roop, and yeah. But what I actually see happening in the fight, honestly, I think Hayoki might be able to submit him. George Roop has been submitted before, aka George Soteropoulos. His submission defense, you know, hasn't been all that good from what I've seen in the few times I've seen him fight. So he's really not that good on the ground. So if he could stuff Hayoki's takedowns, which I know he's going to try to apply, if he could stuff those, take the center of the octagon, and you know, just basically keep this fight standing and use that jab and try to set it up, you know, for either a head kick or, you know, a big punch, George Roop could win the fight. But I just think that being that, you know, Hayoki is such a you know, much respected, and I guess you know, very, I don't know, I don't want to say hyped, but you know, being that, you know, he's one of the more up and coming guys in the division, you know, I think that will give him the edge. But then again, you know, George Roop could come and play spoiler and just basically upset this guy, if you want to call it that. But I'm gonna go with Hayoki on this. I think that Roop, I think he's gonna end up you know, I think he's gonna go for the takedowns early in the fight and be smart about it. And I think he'll eventually be able to get George Roop sometime in the fight. And once he gets him down, I believe he'll be able to submit him. So I'm going to go with Hayoki by submission. But like I said, you know, Roop can win the fight if he's able to stuff the takedowns and keep the fight in the center of the octagon. Okay, next fight, we have Scott Jorgensen versus Jeff Curran. Jeff Curran, as you all know, just came from Bellator over to the UFC. His brother Pat Curran recently fought in the UFC a while back and is doing very, very great things over in Bellator, fighting championships. But yeah, Jeff Curran, I believe this is his second go at it in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. Let me do a little research. Okay, no. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. It is his second go round in the UFC. So this will be his re-debut. I haven't really seen much of Jeff Curran either. But just knowing, you know, how his brother fights, you know, he's obviously excellent wrestler. He's got good boxing, knockout power, just like his brother. So I believe he will have the grappling advantage in this fight. But at the same time, Scott Jorgensen is a very good wrestler himself. College ranked as far as wrestling is concerned, and he's got pretty good stand-up to himself. But I just think that Jeff Curran is going to be the bigger man, and with that knockout power, man, you know, he could catch Jorgensen. I believe he could. I truly believe he could catch Jorgensen here. But you know what? I just think being that Jorgensen is so quick with his takedowns and explosive, I think that's going to catch Curran off guard. Now Curran, like I said, he's a good wrestler himself, so he could surprise Jorgensen and just stuff his takedowns and keep the fight standing and possibly knock him out. But I just think the pace that Jorgensen fights at, I think that might, spell danger and, the demise of Curran. So I'm going to go with Scott Jorgensen here. I'll say he wins, I'll say by decision. If not decision, I'd say he could possibly submit him. But I think it'll go a decision. I think it's going to be really close. This could be fight of the night, being that it's the featherweights, and the featherweights, they always go balls to the wall. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the decision here for Scott Jorgensen. Okay, getting down to the nitty-gritty. The three main fights that I guess people want to see, besides the main event, of course. Mirko Cro Cop, Roy Nelson. This one is real simple. I think Roy Nelson's gonna win this fight, plain and simple. I want to believe Cro Cop is gonna give us one last glimpse of the assassin that we knew from Pride, but every time I want to believe that Cro Cop is gonna show some aggression, and try to put this guy away, I'm always proved wrong. So I'm tired of being disappointed with Cro Cop. So I hope he proves me wrong and proves everybody wrong, and comes out and just knocks Roy Nelson out in a stunning fashion. So, but for the most part, I just think that Roy Nelson, he's too tough. His chin is hella hard. He packs a powerful punch, and I think he's going to end up catching Cro Cop sometime early in the fight. I'll go with I'll go with, well, you know what, I'm not going to pick around. I'm just going to say Roy Nelson KO. That's what I'm going to pick. Roy Nelson KO. Prove me wrong, Cro Cop, because I'm tired of being disappointed with your ass. Seriously. Prove me wrong, dog. Come out and show some manliness. You know what I'm saying? Stop holding back all the damn time. Czech Congo, Matt Mitrione. This one here, I've kind of gone back and forth because unfortunately we've seen Czech Congo's chin exposed more than once, aka Frank Mir, aka Pat Barry, almost. But I'm kind of concerned for Czech Congo in this fight. This one is going to be one of the more tougher fights for him, I believe, because Matt Mitrione, he does have a hard chin, he does have knockout power, and he is improving with his striking. He has really good leg kicks, and he throws some really nice combinations, that having come from his training with Duke Rufus. But you know what? I think this being Matt Mitrione's first real solid test, and being that Czech Congo is a powerful striker in his own right, I think that being that Czech Congo is going to be the more complete fighter in this fight, I think he'll be able to outstrike Matt Mitrione. I don't know if he'll finish him. I don't know if he'll knock him out, but I know he'll definitely outstrike him. And I think Czech Congo might win this fight by decision. That's how I see it. I think he'll be able to outstrike Matt Mitrione, but I think he's going to try to take Mitrione down and try to test his mat skills. And I think he might end up gassing Matt Mitrione out, and that'd be that. So I'm going with Czech Congo decision. Stay tuned. I'm doing the main event next.